What's happening, everybody? It's your man, Michael Andreula, with Michael Allen and D'Angelo from Travel Costa Rica Now. They put together some amazing insight into Costa Rica, and if you know me, of course you do at this point if you're listening. I've been to Costa Rica probably, 10 times. I do retreats there, so I want to do some research. So I'm getting videos online, and all you see is beautiful travel videos, but really no insight on how to operate, how to make sure that I'm not in my opinion, this is me talking, a mark. So if you travel to Hoboken and New Jersey and you didn't know a couple things, you could put yourself in a horrible position. Same thing in New York City, same thing anywhere. Usually I pay individuals, college students on all of my trips to educate me about the area so that I can, if you only have 7 days in an area, you need to know the in and outs quickly, otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time. So Travel Costa Rica Now, their site, their YouTube site gives you so much information on Costa Rica. If you ever considered traveling to Costa Rica, you should check that out. It's super fascinating. In fact, that they're doing it from Costa Rica, knowing how hard it is to upload the videos, stay focused there, is just amazing. And these guys have been there, I believe, for over 7 years. So they are really, really, really knowledgeable about it. So enjoy and book your trip, because this place is fantastic. I love Costa Rica so much, and I feel like it's a place everyone should go. So enjoy, because that's going to help you guys down there.
Thank you.
No, what's funny is you did the Febreze video, and I'm watching your videos, and guess what ad comes on in the States? Febreze.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
No idea. Yes.
So good. A couple things so that people have context. How long have you been in Costa Rica now, guys?
This November will be 9 years.
9 years. Beautiful. Where are you guys from originally?
Las Vegas.
Vegas. Both?
We came here from Vegas. I was there 15 years. He
I was there 5 years.
So
originally from Arizona and
Ohio.
Fantastic. And was Costa Rica the first stop? Did you say, I'm going to try, Nicaragua, Mexico? Did you go straight to Costa Rica?
We did the typical foreigner expat vacation here, fell in love with it, and said, "Oh, let's stay here."
And 6 months later, we packed it all up in Vegas and came down here. But we felt we had an opportunity. We stayed at this hotel, a small hotel, and we ended up purchasing a percentage of it. So we kind of just said, man, we'll just take this opportunity, and we were both at kind of ends at our jobs in Vegas, and just went with it.
But it originally started as a vacation. It wasn't that we had planned to move down anywhere in Central America.
So how many people do you think go to Costa Rica and then say, I'm going to move here?
A huge percentage.
I think they think of it. I think they like the romantic part about it. But when I think they get home, they kind of realize that a vacation isn't the same as living here. Not even close.
No.
And people you kind of recognize that, I think.
Let's jump straight to that. So there's the video Happier Than a Billionaire, and you guys posted a rebuttal, and you're crushing my dreams because I want to live on $1,200 a month in paradise and drink mojitos.
Pina coladas.
Yeah, pina coladas. You're saying that I can't do that?
Not like they were kind of saying. I think they're a great couple. I really do. I just think it got edited a certain way to push the whole paradise to come down here thing. I'm sure if we even talked to them, they probably would have disagreed a little bit with the way it was edited, maybe a little bit too. But it's you could live for $1,200 for a little bit of time, but to sustain it, because one thing happens, you have an emergency maybe you have to go to the doctor or something. Well, that's going to ruin $1,200 a month real fast. So it's just not sustainable. Could you do it for a few months or maybe a little while longer, eating some beans and rice and living in somebody's house in a room? Yes. But you want to do that for the next 20 years? I don't think so. Probably not.
So that's what's amazing is you guys you have to hustle in Costa Rica. You do. As expats, as Americans or wherever you come from, you have to hustle unless you have a bankroll. That's incredible.
That's true. Exactly right.
And you guys are putting together everything. You're doing, internet videos. You're doing tours. right?
Yep, we have the whole travel agency with tours coming down here.
Actually, we're starting a new thing in a couple months. We're actually going to take people that are thinking about living here, and we're going to take them, kind of show them the real life here for a 3-day kind of tour. Take them around to like the grocery stores, teach them banking, have them talk to a lawyer,
A real estate person. So just any information that you're going to need to know why they're coming down here to live down here.
Which is hugely important, and you deliver the message all the time. Make sure you come down and you don't just buy. There's a TV show called House Hunters. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yes, very.
But they basically show this couple, and they're like picking between 3 different locations, and they have to decide in a week, which could be the worst possible idea in Costa Rica ever.
Absolutely.
Actually, they approached us.
Really?
Yeah.
House Hunters International.
It didn't work out, but they thought about it for a minute.
Yeah, you guys probably would tell the truth. That's a bit of a problem. Are you crazy? You're going to look at 3 different places and just pick one?
Yeah, right.
So what is your advice to individuals that love Costa Rica, want to move down? And I know you've covered it in the videos before, but I would like to hear it one more time. I'm sure the audience would.
Well, the biggest thing I would recommend is you need to come down here and live the life for at least 6 to 9 months before you make a major decision. The vacation is not going to tell you anything. You need to come to maybe a town you're thinking about living in and stay there and rent. You don't want to buy nothing. Don't buy property. Don't buy a car. Don't buy anything. Just stay down there, pick a place, rent a place maybe, and just live the life for 6 to 9 months. Would you?
I definitely agree with that. But by all means, just do it. Just get up and do it. A lot of people think about it, talk about it, want to come down and do it. I say do it.
Because it's not going to be romantic. It is not toucans and monkeys outside your window every morning drinking coffee and, walks on the beach. It's just not really like that. Unless what you said, you have a bunch of money. That's a whole different thing. If you're coming down here loaded, you can definitely live that life as well.
So you guys are going to take people and teach them these skills?
You broke up a little bit.
Are you guys going to teach people these skills in Costa Rica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna come down on that tour. Yes, we're gonna show them the real life here, and the real things. How expensive food can be, or maybe a washing machine that you would go, wow, I could get that in the States for $400, and it's $900 here. Because a lot of people have the misconception that Costa Rica is cheaper.
It's not cheap.
It's not, and every time I go down, it seems to be getting more expensive. Maybe primarily I'm going to Tamarindo and Langosta. The cab rides are more expensive. The food seems to be more expensive. And this is mainly because Americans and Canadians and the Europeans and South Americans own the businesses.
Well, and actually, we have the same problem Tamarindo does because we're in La Fortuna, which is another tourist town, which tax even more money on the thing. So if we lived in a little Tico town 40 miles away, it would be cheaper. But, we're in a tourist town where it's gringo priced and tourist prices.
So La Fortuna is where the volcanoes are, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, they are no volcano.
And
There's about 9 volcanoes here, but that was the active one here.
Okay.
Until about 3 years ago.
And what happened?
It just
went dormant for a while.
It's been dormant for 3 years, but it was going off for the last 40 years. So they built a town around it. Luckily, they've done enough to zip line and raft and canyoneering, a lot of other things. This is still a hub to come to because it's so beautiful here as well. And the volcano is still beautiful. It's just not erupting.
That's fantastic. So what are the biggest benefits? You ask this all the time in your interviews. What are the biggest benefits of living in Costa Rica?
I can go.
Oh, go ahead.
It really is kind of that simple life. It is laid back. The people really are nice, but it's this. Not everybody's on a schedule. If they say 9, they'll probably show up at 11:30. It's just kind of cool like that a little bit.
Not having to deal with the hustle bustle of big cities.
Schedules
in America,
they're always hurry
yeah.
up and wait. This is a very laid back.
We lose track of days and months and
we have to think about, oh my God, we are in August, or is this Saturday, or oh my God, it's Christmas. We don't even know.
I concur with that, because here I'm in New York. It feels like I couldn't imagine spending a week there, and when you get there, you could lose 10 years
Yes.
just walking around. It's a fantastic feeling. What is the major disadvantages of living in Costa Rica?
The same. The advantages are if you're trying to start a business, or you're and money's a thing. Like we've had a lot of friends. Like, let's say they want to open a bed and breakfast or build it, so they get Tico time, which means they said it would be done in 6 months. It's done in a year and a half. Said it was 300,000. It cost 600,000. So that time lapse thing, that whole Tico time we call it, can really mess up a budget when you planned on. Maybe they're going to drop off the lumber at 9 o'clock, and you have workers there you got to pay, and they don't show up. So there's that kind of thing. If you're trying to do business down here, it gets a little irritating if you're on a kind of a semi-schedule.
Is there any way to hack Tico time or hack gringo prices that you've discovered? Is there a way around these topics?
Well, what we recommend is get a local friend, somebody you know that speaks excellent Spanish, somebody that is Tico, somebody that can just go and ask the price questions for you on
how much is the rent for that apartment. You're going to have a Tico call, because if they hear you talking, they know you're a gringo, and they're going to add 50%. And then the other question is, you never, never, never ask a yes and no question, because they will always tell you yes. It doesn't matter what you ask them. Hey, I want to have a water park that caters to donkeys and elephants. And they'll say, wow, yeah, that's a great idea. So you got to ask them questions like, what's a better day for you, Thursday or Friday? You ask yes. If you say, can you be here on Friday? Yes. They're going to a wedding on Friday. They're just say yes because they don't want to displease you. So they're going to say yes to everything and deal with it later. So you got to ask them, like, what's better for you, Thursday, Friday? What's better for you, 10 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the afternoon? And then you can try to pinpoint them, but that's not guaranteed either, but it's a little closer.
That is, that video in particular is so damn true. It's incredible. Because I go down with a ton of harebrained ideas, and they are just telling me I could do all these things. They're just, I'm like, this is fantastic. And then you realize none of this is going to happen at all.
Right. It's kind of true.
But gringo pricing in particular has affected me when I take groups of 10 or 12 people and I pay the bill. And if I'm in town, I'm in Tamarindo for a while, they just think I'm a millionaire and I'm taking my friends out to dinner every night. There's no kind of, and I do use a lot of locals all the time to help kind of negotiate these situations. But do you see that, do you feel like you're a permanent gringo? If I moved there and I was there for 10 years, would I be able to feel like I was Costa Rican? Or
once you learn the language and you're fluent in the language, then you definitely will fit right in. But until you know that language fluently, you're going to need some help.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So what are some of your favorite spots in the country?
The Caribbean side is probably our favorite beach, or at least mine, Punta Uva, south of Puerto Viejo.
Yeah, it's kind of closer to Manzanillo and
Panama, actually.
Yeah.
Closer there.
I like, I'm kind of big on the Nicoya Peninsula. I like Malpais and Montezuma. And then we have a pretty nice place up by where you go, Playa Hermosa, I think, is pretty beautiful as well.
I saw that video. Hermosa.
Have you been there? That's close to Tamarindo.
I haven't. We drove around the country, but I don't think I've been to Hermosa. I needed some place that had the doctors in town, an evacuation plan in case somebody gets hurt, and had a lot of restaurant options. Next time I go down, if it's by myself, you're right. You have to just drive and find all these little jewels in the coast.
True.
Playa Hermosa, fantastic. So I wish my one client, went down and she didn't watch your video. She just purchased a 5-bedroom hotel in Tamarindo.
Nice.
So she's learning very quickly about the Tico time on the renovations.
Oh, it can really, if you're on a budget, it can be a problem.
Especially when hotels and the tourist industry is trying to get stuff done before the high tourist season gets here, and then your Tico time and you don't get to open up for the tourist season, it can really hurt you.
Yeah. So if anybody is listening, how many videos do you guys have?
315 maybe?
315, which is fantastic because when I'm in Costa Rica and I upload a video, it takes me forever. I don't know if you have better internet than me.
Very true.
But the expat interviews are some of the most fascinating ones.
Yeah, a lot of people like those. Yeah, when those people are watching, those are people that are kind of considering to come down here, which is what got us wanting to take people around that were considering Costa Rica to see kind of the truth about it, because we wanted to tell them the truth about living here, not just because a lot of the tours they have here that do that are pushing property and real estate. They have an agenda. Yeah, come on down. We're going to show you Costa Rica. Look at this nice hospital, but look at this nice property for $250,000. So they have an agenda to not really tell you maybe some of the negative sides of living here. So we want to do that.
Yeah, and there's good and bads all over, and the crime video is incredibly important. In New York, somebody's probably getting hit in the head as we speak. If you leave your stuff around in Costa Rica, it's probably going to get picked up, and you should just know that. But you also have additional videos like the flat tire scam, and a bunch of things I didn't realize. So I feel like I'm more prepared. That's why I fully endorse you guys as the go-to source on Costa Rica. You have all my trust. Next time we come down there, I definitely am going to hit you guys up.
Cool. And the great thing about just knowing some of those things is common sense goes a really long way, because most of the things that happen to tourists here don't have to happen. I don't want to say it's their fault, but you probably shouldn't have left your laptop in your rental car. There's just a few things you can do that you're going to have a great time down here, and you're not going to be ripped off, and you're not going to have a problem. So just a little bit of common sense goes really long.
I see Costa Rica, and it seems to be experiencing a big change. I see the children are going to school. They seem like they've spent a lot of money on education as a country. And then we have, the older generation that maybe is used to the old lifestyle. Does it feel like it's changing to you?
They're getting a little bit more westernized. Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of cool to see families. They're big time into families, which is way cool. But they're also, they're getting the phones. They got the iPhones now. They got their heads down in there a lot as well. So there's definitely getting that the Western influence. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it's definitely good to keep it a little wild. What do you guys see? Do you feel like you're going to be in Costa Rica forever?
It's just kind of, I don't know. I think it's like we want to continue doing what we're doing, but we wanted to make that the opportunity so we can travel more ourselves, because we both like to travel. So if the outcome is to travel all around, we went to Japan recently. Oh, nice. That was kind of cool. So travel's the whole motivation of pretty much of everything. Not a BMW, not a new leather couch, not a picture over the couch, is to travel.
Because travel is an education in itself.
Yeah, I think so. Different cultures, different, you learn a lot, I think, going to different countries, do things different or whatever, so it's interesting.
Do you guys have a typical day schedule? Do you keep
No. That's not true. We kind of do. Okay. We have a semblance of a schedule. Okay. Usually we're working out maybe in the morning. We try to get together and do we have to answer emails in the morning. We have too many emails not to get those going right away. People inquiring about travel packages and such. And then it's just the afternoons are kind of open. Then a lot of times we're socializing in the evening, because it's just what you do here, and end up drinking some beers every now and then.
Yeah, and
And
people.
no schedule like in the States when we lived there.
Yeah, if we don't want to do something, we just say, forget it. Let's go do something else.
God bless you guys, really, honestly. And it's so damn pleasant in the evening. You could just be out. People are out. It's so cool that they're not on the phones. Do you go to gyms out there, or you guys basically use outside?
He uses outside.
And he goes to the gym.
Okay.
They got pretty good, decent gyms around here.
Yeah. My Costa Rican friends are always saying, open a gym. And I look at it, I'm like, why would you go to a gym when you basically have a giant playground called
Yeah.
Costa Rica?
There's a couple people that I think attempted to do what you just said, like kind of have you say you do kickboxing. Well, some people are trying to do that whole incorporate the outdoors,
Mhm.
like he does, chin ups on the tree limbs and, the beaches and, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, Thailand, I mean, they have a huge tourist pull from kickboxing training, and Costa Rica's same climate, same atmosphere. You could really, but it doesn't seem to be catching on with the locals.
that's true. Yeah.
They don't seem to want to do that.
Unless you charge them, you can't really charge. The problem is really the money thing. So a gringo will pay, whatever to take your class, but
Tico couldn't
Tico
afford it.
couldn't afford even half that. So if the class isn't like for $1, they're not going to do it.
No, and that's I always think about the business end and realize I wouldn't if I did a business there, it would be bringing people in from the States, and because people are going to pay a larger amount of money for vacation than probably they would for the rest of the year, and if you're local there, even if you're an expat, you're probably not going to spend that much money. It's just impossible.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right.
So before I let you guys go, is there any just give us a pitch on this 3-day seminar, which sounds fascinating to me. You're going to take us through groceries, language, and do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts, where you'll do more, like you said, that everybody likes expat interviews, so you'll be talking to a couple of expats throughout the day, just their experience down here.
Visiting their home. We will have a real estate agent, not to sell real estate, but
To answer your
to
questions.
answer your questions about, okay, what's the difference between a property over there and over here, and how, what's some of the building do's and don'ts that may not apply in the United States. So we'll have some experts in a couple of the fields, and we're going to answer the real questions. There's no agenda to sell anything. It's kind of tell them, if you're really thinking about living here, you need to consider these things. But again, and then showing them some of the price comparisons, pharmacy. A lot of people are interested in the healthcare and how that works, and how does banking work? How do you get your driver's license? How do you get your residency? So it's that kind of thing.
Which is incredibly helpful because these questions there's a couple sites, but not really are answering, can I open a bank account? I thought I couldn't.
Not too many.
Right? How do you get your residency? What is going to cost if you go to that grocery store and you want to get you use maple syrup or you want to get peanut butter? You're going to break the bank in Costa Rica.
Yeah. Peanut butter is expensive down
It's
here.
ridiculous. It's almost you start laughing. Little jar of peanut butter, $8, or it's $9. It's stupid.
And that, I kind of like it because I feel like you could be healthier because it's financially. If you want to drink soda, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
You don't eat anything like you do in the States. It's unbelievable. You can eat way healthy and you can eat cheap. It's just if you want your Doritos and your peanut butter and your processed foods,
You're gonna
pay out the nose for it. But if you like the fruits and the vegetables, go to the farmers market.
Street corners. Every street corner has somebody selling whatever fruits in season really cheap.
Yeah, so you can do it. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be that expensive. It's just people a lot of times want what they want. And they'll go, wow, that maple syrup, like for instance, that's expensive down here because it's hard to find pure maple syrup. But you don't have to. You can do, and you don't eat as much for some reason. I don't know if it's the climate or what it is, but sometimes we'll forget to eat. We'll go, oh my God, we didn't have lunch.
Yeah, I when I bring people down, they're in the sun. They just eat. We're eating normal, the way Ticos were eating casadas, some rice and beans, typically not that low carb, but they seem to be getting leaner. They look better. they become more playful. I feel like Costa Rica allows you to be playful, and it feels like the Garden of Eden to me.
Yeah, definitely true.
Right. And I don't want to take too much of your time, guys, but is there anything else you wanted to leave the people with? Because I'm going to be pushing and making sure they watch all these interviews because they're going to love them.
We would say if you're thinking about living here, do your homework and do your research. We didn't do that. We learned everything the hard way.
Lots of hard trial and error.
Yeah, you definitely want to do research and take everybody's what they say kind of with a grain of salt, because you never know if people have an agenda for what they're saying on their websites or whatever they're telling you. So just, keep an open mind. It's a beautiful country, but it definitely has its disadvantages. I would agree.
And I just want to double down on that point, because you might think that there's gringo pricing and, there's Tico time, and that the locals are the one that are going to try to maybe take advantage of the situation. But a lot of expats there.
A lot of expats will take advantage of other expats down here. And a lot of expats down here end up going into the field of real estate down here because you don't need to have a realtor's license. If I just want to be a realtor tomorrow, I just go put my little sign up saying I'm a realtor. And so all the gringos try to open that and get other gringos.
And the problem with that is we tend to, since he's a gringo, see, now we're the same. We're gringos, so he would never rip me off. And the guy trying to sell knows that you trust him because he's a gringo. And it's actually probably the opposite. You got to be kind of leery of the gringos actually down here.
Yeah.
That's the next video.
It's true.
That's the next video, guys, because I don't think anybody's touched on that. But it's more true, I think, than a lot of the locals take care of me, maybe more than some of the expats.
It's true.
All right, guys. This has been fascinating. I want to come back, maybe contact you guys in a month or two, if that's okay. And we'll do a pre-roll and an introduction and an exit. If you have any other needs or wants for the video, please let me know. And just keep rocking. You guys are fantastic. We're loving it on this side. We're going to donate. We're going to click on the ads. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, get in touch with us when you're in Fortuna area.
We'll be in late October.
All right.
Cool.
We'll be around.
All right,
cheers.
Cheers.